Thank you. I'll send them out immediately. See you Monday. I've been supporting the legalization of drugs for a long time. This is hardly a novel position. Many other people have done the same, both here and abroad. The British have their free drug program under the National Health Service Plan. Drugs are legal, provided you adhere to that plan. And in the 10 or 12 years since the plan was instituted, they've had a great diminishment of street crime, of ODs, with only a slight rise in addiction. And I would recommend that that be tried here at least on a temporary basis, on an experimental basis, so we can get the same results. But certainly in the area of marijuana, legalization should be immediately decreed in every state, because to give principally young people who are affected a criminal record and to clog up the court calendars and to continue this dehumanized method of punishing for a weed whose effects, according to President Nixon's own study, are negligible in an adverse way on anyone, seems to me to be a crime against all logic, all decency, and all rationality. So I support all the demonstrational activity under the First Amendment, the smoke-ins and the be-ins and the other demonstrations, to obtain the public support necessary to convince legislators who are in a medieval frame of mind about this to declare the drug, or the weed, it is not a drug, perfectly legal throughout all states of the Union.
find when we compare the different prohibition movements, and I mean the movement at first to prohibit alcohol, and later opiates and heroin, and later still marijuana, what we find is a good deal in common. At each of these times, and in relation to each of these substances, certain central themes have come through. The most clear of them is a strong element of racism and a strong element of fear of sex. What I mean by that, for example, in dealing with the alcohol example, is that if you look at any of the literature of the late 19th century, when the Prohibition movement was building, the slogan that was very widely used was rum and Romanism. The association was that drinking was a Roman Catholic phenomenon, and it was in fact a protest of small-town Protestant America against the wave of Irish and Italian immigrants who were coming into the country and who were thought to be insufficiently repressed about their use of this drug. With marijuana, we again had the same kind of fears. If you've ever seen Reefer Madness, the position of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, which was trying to get this law enacted, was that this was not only something, the use of marijuana was not only something done chiefly by Mexicans and by blacks and by jazz musicians, never a strong voting bloc, particularly in the 1930s, but that also it was a substance that caused insanity, addiction, and murder. All of these, of course, we know weren't true, but that was what was said, and it was very readily believed. In 1932, when alcohol prohibition was repealed, one of the primary alcohol prohibition agents was a fellow named Harry Anslinger. But Anslinger's stroke of genius was that by making every act of even possession criminal, it would be possible to wipe out this grave danger to our society. Certainly the most important factor in what's changing the opinion of public officials is the increase in marijuana use and the continuation of marijuana use. So for the past 10 years or so, we've had a striking increase in the numbers of people using it, and not only college students, but they now find the percentages the same for the non-student population, with the majority of young people having at some time used the substance, and even a significant minority of the state legislature here in New York admitting that they've done so. I think this increased level of use is the single most important factor.
I can say something about the smoking for. We've been doing it for 9 years now. I started with the first smoking, the first being in 1967 when we were smoking bananas. You've come a long way, baby.
My name is Dennis Perone, for those of you who don't know who I am. I just got busted in July. I ran the Big Top Pot supermarket over on Castro Street in San Francisco. I've decided to express my views on marijuana. For that purpose, I went public. That is, I told the whole world that I sold marijuana, and I've been doing it for 8 years. I'll tell you, I'm tired of being busted. And for that purpose, what I've done is I have started an initiative in San Francisco in the form of a policy statement. And it reads, I can't remember exactly verbatim, but it reads, we the people of San Francisco demand that the district attorney, along with the chief of police, cease the prosecution and the arrest for people involved in the transfer, the cultivation, or personal use of marijuana.
Smoke-ins at the 4th of July, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July in D.C. have been going on for about 8 years now. And they'll be going on until marijuana is legalized. I was there last year when there was 10,000 people, and no one got arrested for marijuana. There was one arrest for jaywalking, but that was silly, and they knew that, so they let him go. And well, this year we're hoping that there'll be double that many, or triple that many, or quadruple that many. It depends on if you come or not. So if you show up, I'll show up. And I'll show up anyway. So we'll see you there.
do have 3 separate marijuana decriminalization proposals currently pending in the Congress. Now, that's important, and we want to see those bills passed. But the important thing is that make sure your congressman knows that 10 grams of marijuana is not enough. 10 grams won't do it. We smoke pot! We smoke pot! We smoke pot! Hey, bring that free pot right here!
And not many people know that the laws against marijuana are really a secret government affirmative action plan for women and minority groups.
Kid who was shot in Texas by his father in the head as he was sleeping. 18 years old. This kid was shot through the head because he smoked marijuana and his father couldn't live with it. There was China in her eyes. The end of the case was that a jury of the father's peers sat together and found him not guilty. She was walking by the river, rolling in a rhythm of love. So contact Jimmy Carter, contact your elected representative, contact your local elected representative and your federal, and let them know that at a minimum, we don't want any penalty for the private possession and use and cultivation of marijuana. Tell me tonight what you tell me about love. Sidewalk.
Let me tell you there, boy, God made them peanuts and God made them pot. You know, we all ought to be able to smoke that pot. You all eat your peanuts. Jimmy, take a toast! Jimmy, take a toast! Jimmy, take a toast! Jimmy, take a toast! Jimmy, take a toast!
if we legalized marijuana, cocaine, even heroin? Some surprising answers from ABC News correspondents and affiliates around the country.
Heed the lessons of prohibition and treat drugs as a national health problem, not as a crime problem.
Good evening. I'm Ted Koppel reporting tonight from New York, and we are continuing our national town meeting on the legalization of drugs. I'm as interested in hearing the answer to Congressman Rangel's question as he is.
Okay.
And we don't have a whole lot of time left.
I would think that the first thing to do would be to make marijuana legally available and fairly readily available.
To everyone?
Well, to adults, yeah. Well, we know right now, like alcohol or tobacco, but with stricter controls. Hold on a second. We know right now that 60 million Americans in this country have smoked marijuana. Between 20 and 30 million are smoking it right now. We have 0 overdose deaths. We know that the vast majority of people who smoked marijuana have not gone on to harder drugs. Last week, the administrative judge of the DEA, in a suit which asked whether or not marijuana should be made legally available for medical purposes to deal with chemotherapy.
What happened to crack cocaine and heroin?
You know, the polite thing to do would be to let me at least finish what I'm saying.
You'll be for legalizing cigarettes.
Listen, everybody on this panel who's opposed to legalization is opposed to legalizing marijuana. Now, marijuana, the DEA judge said that compared in toxicity to aspirin, marijuana is overwhelmingly safer. He said that marijuana is perhaps one of the most safest psychoactive substances ever known to man. Now, that's very simply.
Hold on. Everybody
when Mayor Koch talks about throwing users into jail.
Listen, don't all start waking up now. The program's almost over here.
Well, you didn't call me before, Ted.
Everybody
when Mayor Koch says that 60 million
the drugs
Americans
that have to be addressed now are cocaine and heroin and crack. And when we've addressed those, even though most of us believe that marijuana ought to not be legalized, that's the last one on the list.
No,
he didn't answer
What he has done is Ted, can I answer the Congressman's question specifically? Ted, it's the first one. You start with marijuana. Marijuana of all the illicit drugs is the safest.
May I just make an observation? When Bach wrote a fugue, it was beautiful. When you guys try to do it, it doesn't work at all. We've got to have one theme at a time, and then when you finish, we'll move on to the next person. Hold it. Just all of you hold it 1 second. The gentleman behind you who was yelling. What were you yelling about?
My name is Dana Beal.
I don't care what your name is. What were you yelling about?
Okay. The exact quote from the federal judge was, the safest therapeutically active substance known to mankind. That means safer than caffeine, safer than aspirin. That means you're putting people in jail for basically doing something that's completely harmless.
Let me turn to
How can you talk